Hey everybody, it's me again, Tom in Western North Carolina. I had to crawl under my rig here to get on the other side. So anyways, this is a continuation of how to cut these mortises for the rockers. Anyways, I cut this one yesterday after I did that other video. You know, I got this piece here out. You can see I cut that practice one in there, and then I cut that other one out. And I went ahead and used the coping saw on the bottom. I wasn't very satisfied with that jeweler saw. Anyways, I cut that out, and you know, I laid off the lines pretty good, and it took me a lot of sanding, or what I felt like was a lot of sanding, like that. You know, I had this one not cut out yet, but I did a lot of sanding to get this thing to fit. And it's still pretty tight fit, but I got it in there, and that fits okay. I might loosen it up a little bit, but it wouldn't go in at all when I started. So anyways, that's the side. I've got the side fit on that one, and just this morning before I did this video, I sawed this out with the hacksaw and the coping saw. Got that piece out right there. You can maybe see where I worked on it there to get the coping saw to start and go across the bottom. Anyway, so I have not even tried this one yet, and so this one I laid off the lines pretty good because that practice one went in so easy. So this one I laid off the lines a little bit, and it went in really, really hard, in my opinion. And so this one I tried to go a little closer to the lines, and maybe even took the line out. I sawed this side here first, and I actually took the line out some here and here. I can't even see the line. Now this line was kind of not in the right spot, so taking out the line on this one was the proper place to actually saw it, because the line was that way too much. But I sawed this one first and thought I took out too much, and so when I sawed this side, I actually left a little bit extra. So here I go. I have not tried this yet. I'm trying it right now for the first time. We'll see what happens. Okay, it went in pretty easy. So it went in. And there it came back out. But I'm going to run this side sander in it just a little bit to try to smooth it up. And see, one of the reasons why the side sander and the bottom sander are as long as they are is so they will ride in the other mortise. You know, I sanded that one out like this with this on top here, so I obviously missed a little bit here. And usually what I do is I wait until I have both of them sawed out, so that when I run the side sander, it's down like this. So but I just got sandpaper on the one end. I just want to sand one place at a time. And right now I'm pulling this way. I'm trying to sand this side just a little bit. Just trying to smooth it up. And now I'm going to try to sand this side just a little bit. Get any rough spots out of there. And I think this is 100 grit sandpaper. It takes a lot of sanding to just get off a 64th of an inch. So I'm not really worried about overdoing it right now, but I certainly don't want to make it too loose. We'll try it again. Okay, this one, there's about an 1/8 of an inch gap right there. And I'm sure that's being caused by when I sanded it, I had my sander, you know, at an angle like that. And there's a little spot in there that didn't get sanded. And so it's stubbing up on that. I mean, I could maybe pound it down with a hammer, but I don't really want to do that because you certainly don't want your leg to break open. So I just need to sand that a little bit more deep down in. This one's got a gap in the bottom too. I'm not sure exactly what it's hitting on. But I'm going to sand this one. I can see where the sander, you know, was up at an angle, and so I'm going to try to sand that little place just at the bottom out. I can see it right there. I can see how much I had to sand to get it to fit. It took a while. My friend, my buddy, commenter Roy said that was a lot of tedious sawing yesterday. Well, the sanding, if you have a lot of this sanding to do, it can be even more tedious than the sawing. I can guarantee that. So I should have brought my flashlight over here. But I'm going to take this little here mortise chisel, and I'm going to clean out right where the bottom and the side of that mortise meet. I'm carefully cleaning that area out and trying not to do anything right where you will see it, but inside. And I can see a hump there. Okay, I'm going to do that quick over on this end. Right then, just what I was doing, I was trying to make sure that the vertical surface right where it meets the bottom was cleaned out. And now what I'm going to do is on these, and so I'm pretty satisfied with the fit, this side to side fit right now. The two sides. Now they did not go down all the way, and so what I'm going to work on now is getting the bottoms to fit. And the first thing you want to do is relieve those bottoms out. They're flat right now, and you don't really want to have to sand that whole surface. So what you do is you make the bottom look like that. So you just have to sand this spot and this spot. You know, this is your sander. If you have to sand that whole flat surface, that's a lot of hard sanding. Where if you just make your bottom look like that, you just have to sand there where my fingers are and where there is. So what you want to do, what I do, is I dig out the middles, just leaving a little bit, leaving like about 1/8 of an inch at both edges. And so I just usually do it with this small chisel. I'm leaving, right now I'm just working on this side, And I'm starting about 1/8 of an inch in from the end, from this side over here. And I'm digging that down. And now I'm moving that way, just in the middle. And now I don't want to break out of this side, so now I'm going back in this side. Hope I don't stab myself in the chest. Oh, I'm getting hot. We had a lot of rain yesterday. It's sort of pretty dark outside right now, but you know, I guess it's about 100% humidity. Okay, still got a little place to do. I guess I'm a Luddite in a way, and I'm just pretty much willing to do that work that I just did with this chisel. But in class, when I'd be in class teaching the class with 6, 8, 10 guys, there would always be some people like, how do we make this easier? And one of the ways that make that step easier is you get a drill. And this is a regular 5/8 inch Forster bit. Should fit in there. No, but it doesn't. Ha ha ha. Doesn't even fit. I guess it'll fit. Let's see if that'll go. Yeah. Get you a regular 5/8 inch Forstner bit. And you can drill a little bit of that bottom out. Let's see there, I got my drill bit out. So right there, I just drilled down in the very middle of that, you know, not even 1/8 of an inch. You know, you shouldn't have to sand out. You know, if you have to sand out 1/8 of an inch, that's pretty lot of work. But anyway, so I just got some of that middle out of there. And now I'm going to use my chisel to finish it off. I maybe could have done 2 holes, one very near this side and one very near that side, but I just decided to just do one in the middle. Anyways, I'm doing all this work right now just so when I go to do the bottom sander, there's just a very little area that needs to be actually sanded. And I think if you look into any kind of old time, you know, that guy John Alexander, and can't think of his name right now, those guys that studied 17th century woodworking, a lot of the joints were designed so they would fit together real good, but they only had to fit right at the outside edge, right where you would see them. And they would even knife edge them and stuff so they would go together real good. And the way they got those fits was to relieve out behind, like I'm doing now. We don't care if this fits tight in the middle. We want it to just fit tight where you can see it. And this looks like a lot of work right now that I'm doing right this instant, but I'd rather do this work, which is kind of crude work, than to spend all the time with my finish work. I want my finish work to go easy. So anyways, there's that. I've got both those dished out. So there should just be 4 spots. One there, one there, one there, and one there where I'm trying to get this to fit. And I'm not going to put this rocker in there every single time and put it in and take it out, because it doesn't tell me anything except for visual. Where it's better to get an old rusty iron thing like this, and you can rub it on there. And wherever it makes a mark, see, I've got black back here and no black here. And the same thing on this one, I've got black here and a little bit here. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this and try to evenly do it, you know, side to side. Okay, that little bit of sanding disappeared all those black marks. Now I'm going to try to blacken it again. And ideally what I end up with is I want a black mark in all 4 places. Now that's odd. Now there's no black mark here, and it's black here. And black here, and sort of no black there. See, my stick might have a little bit of a curve in it like that. If that's curved like that, it's going to sand the outsides and not the insides. I don't like that very much. I was just trying to sand this one black edge on that one that time. And now I'm going to just try to sand the black on that side there. See what happens. That looks pretty good. I mean, that was about as easy as I've ever done that. And if those little shelves, this shelf and this shelf, if those shelves, if they start to get too big and you're still not getting satisfaction, you can always go in and you see that black on there. You can remove, like, you know, I'm removing like half of that black just to make the little part where I have to sand smaller. But from what I can see, they all look like they have a little bit of black on them. And so in fact, I'm going to take this and try it. I actually have to pry that open a little bit to get it to go in. This one too, well, now the test becomes visually, what does it look like? See, I can see right through this one, so that for some reason it's not cleaned out in the corners. In that one, I can see a gap right there. And so I got me a mirror to look at this one, so I don't have to crawl out. That one looks pretty good. This one here is just not going all the way down. There must be something in there. There's something in there at the corners, I guess. Might be a little right there, maybe. And so anyways, you know, this is tedious work, and you don't need to watch me just go on and on with that. But you need to put your rocker in, look at them, see what needs to be worked on, and try to make a determination how you're going to clean out these things to get this to go down. Now you can also, at this point, if you, for some reason, you just are not getting a fit, you know, you got to compare, is your rocker straight, you know, because we're using a straight edge. If your rocker, if these two places aren't in line, you know, you're never going to get it to fit using this method. If your rockers, in some chairs, I've said this before, some chairs have a rocker that's curved on the top. And I don't know exactly, well, the procedure's the same, it's just that you don't have a straight edge. You've got to put your rocker in, see where it fits, see where it doesn't fit, and make corrections to make it fit. So that's the method. That's the method. You got your side sander to get your sides fit. It's kind of like, you know, when we put the slat mortise, the slats in, when we fit the slats, we get the side fit, and then we work on the bottom. It's a little different in that case, but this, we're working on the bottom to get the bottom, for this to fit good into the bottom. So anyways, I think that's the next step in this series, you know, that a thing that you need to get done. It's tedious, but everything that you do on this chair or on any kind of woodworking and stuff, a lot of it has to do with, well, what do the joints look like? Are the joints good? And, you know, no air, no shadows there. So you need to spend a little time working on them. You should not have to take off much more than a couple 64ths of an inch, because you don't want to get too far, you know, past these lines that we drew on there. And you don't want to change, you know, you don't want to take a 1/4 inch off of this one and none off of this one. It's going to put your rocker funny. You're going to have to, if you do that, you have to do it with both of them, because you got to keep these rockers in line with each other. So anyways, I think I was pretty successful with my sawing here. Went in a little too easy. So I'll have to correct for that when I do this side. But that's why I did one, saw what the fit was, went, okay, I need to saw more out. Then I saw this one, I saw it a little, maybe too much out. Well, when I do my next one, I'll check it before I saw the 4th one. I might not sand it, but I'll go, is it too tight or is it too loose? What do I do to correct? Anyways, when we used to do the class, everything you're seeing about the rockers, from laying the rocker out on the boards, sawing them out, cleaning them up, marking all these out, sawing these out, putting the pegs in, was all one day. There was one day allocated for the rockers, Friday. And there was no waiting around or anything. It was like you had to be at it all day. And it might have been a 10-hour day, I'm not sure. But it was hard work. But everybody got it done. And anyways, here's that saw I bought. I think this little saw costs like $150. it says it's Pax, ripped tooth. Got very tiny teeth on it. It was just slow as molasses sawing, and like I say, this blade was so stiff I couldn't steer it. And I just like my hacksaw, and it's, you know, the common man's way of doing it. And this saw, even it cost $150. I just got it out this morning and looked at it. You can maybe see that those aren't the original bolts. And it turned out that bolts, or whatever they had in here, they must have been bolts of some sort. They were smaller than the holes that were drilled in the blade. And so that blade would, when you would use the saw, it would go click, click. It's still doing it a little bit. Even though I put these bolts in, these bolts are almost as big as the hole, but still that's click, click, clicking. Can you hear that? Can you see it moving? But it was way worse because the little bolts they had in there were a lot smaller, and it would, when you were using that saw, it would be moving. So anyways, I should have just got a refund, but anyways, I'm babbling on. I'm really enjoying doing these videos. It's a little teeny bit stressful in a way, and I guess it's mostly because I just don't know if I'm putting the information across well enough. But I know that 2 or 3 or 4 of you are watching and following along, and I really appreciate that. And I'm achieving my goal, whatever that might be, and that I just hope that a few people actually get some good information out of this. And that reminds me, I need to stress it a little bit that I'm showing how I do it. I'm not trying to say this is the only way. It's not the only way. It's just how I do it. It's how I learn to do it. It's how I'm pretty comfortable doing it. So that's my, what do you call that? I can't think of the words anymore. Maybe never could think of the words. But anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. There's going to be a little lull because I'm going to have to crawl out of here to turn the camera off. But it's dark outside, but I think most of the rain has passed. And I'm thankful for the rain. I'm thankful for everything I have. I hope you can be thankful too. So I'll see you another day. I'm going to crawl out, turn the camera off. See you.